got the idea for making self-lubricating landing gear bushings from our experience with warbirds. We've been supplying through Marsh Brothers and through Thornton bearings for warbirds and landing gears mostly. And these were made from Thornton and a material we have called Thorplast then, and now it's AeroTough. But we've had excellent results on the warbirds. So that's what we're doing here, and this is one of the early kits. We have a kit for the Bonanza and the Baron, Travel Air and Debonair, but this one is for the Aerostar. In this kit we have about 45 bushings and seals for all the positions in the main landing gear, the nose landing gear of the Aerostar, all types of Aerostar. So this main landing gear oleo leg has a kit specially designed for it, with only the internal components supplied. So we don't supply any other bushings. That's what we call our oleo kit. So what's in here is this element here. This goes right here, and it is the lower bushing and seal assembly. And it carries a static O-ring and backup rings on the OD, and a special seal on the inside, actually goes this way, and a wiper ring. We make that like this. This is made of AeroTough. This is the most important part in the oleo assembly. It's the bottom bushing. This is a self-lubricating bushing, goes in here, and it contains an O-ring on the outside, backup rings, the same as we use on the OEM part. But at the bottom we have quite a difference. We have a flex slip seal down here, which is a much better seal than an O-ring seal. And we've replaced the wiper, the metal wiper in the OEM assembly, with a Thorflex wiper that is less damaging to the metal oleo leg than metal. So this is the lower unit. At the top of the oleo is the cap. This normally would be made of bronze. We replace it with AeroTough GF. And we use the same pins to lock it to the oleo leg. This element is called the ring, and it goes inside the oleo leg against the stop. When we put the oleo kit in this airplane, which was our test airplane, we found that the landing gear was stiffer. And we were a little bit surprised by that. And while it's now got over 60 hours and over 100 cycles on it, it's a little bit looser as the bushings have worn in, but it's still, the wing doesn't drop when you fuel it. However, if you want to raise the wing by getting underneath it, you can still do that the way you always did. And sometimes you'll come back from a trip and one wing may be lower than the other one, depending on what the fuel burn, whether the fuel burn is equal or not. Now the full kit includes around 50 bushings and seals, and we put them everywhere but one location, and that's right here where the torque links connect to the oleo leg. The pressures right here are extremely high, and we can't risk ATGF in this position. It's just too high, so we go with the stock bronze bearing in this location, here and here. The only two positions we don't use it. Everywhere else it is used. This is one of the trunnion bushings up in the wing and in the top of the upper forging. These are all AeroTough. And although they have grease fittings on them, you don't need to grease them. You can grease them if you want to. And we're drilling through for grease if you want to use it, but you don't need it. And when you put this entire kit in the airplane, you save 11 pounds. Okay, included in our kit are two cushions or bumpers. We make these as well. And these replace the original rubber. They're much tougher and they'll last a lot longer. This one goes up here and basically cushions the landing gear when it retracts. This one is for the bell crank. That goes down to the bottom. You can't see it here, but it goes in and it's basically doing the same thing. So we include the bushing and the cushion with the kit. One of the things we weren't sure about when we started out with this kit was the brake anchor bushings down here. And these are steel and they're very hard to lubricate, typically. So if AeroTough would work, it would be a real benefit. We put only one in, the initial one, and then we tested it and it ran well, and then we put all the rest of them in. So we got 4 on each side, and they're working very well. and eliminating the need to put any kind of lubrication down here on the brake assembly. So that's been added to the kit, but it's all part of the package. When we built this kit, we had to make several iterations to make sure we had the sizing properly. We wanted to be able to push these bushings in and then have them the right size, so when you put the pin in, the fit would be perfect. Typically, when you put landing gear bushings in made of bronze, you have to ream them afterwards, just to make sure. And that might be necessary with a tolerance on the housing that's a little undersized, but we don't think it will be. However, it is a possibility you might need to, so bear that in mind. And the next question is, how long are these bushings going to last? Well, we really don't know. But based on our industrial experience and based on our warbird experience, they should last a long, long time. We've got 100+ cycles on this landing gear, and we're not detecting anywhere at all. And I don't think we'll see anything in 200 or 300 cycles. So I would say they ought to last at least as long as the bronze bearings and probably longer. And the other thing is, you never have to grease them. Well, this is the Aerostar nose gear. And we have our AeroTough bushings in many places here, but we don't have them in the centering cams. They need to be bronze because they have a very high load on them. We also have them in all the torque link positions here. And perhaps the most important location is up here in the steering collar. This is a part of the airplane that often doesn't get greased, and it can cause serious problems if it runs dry. Never need to be a worry with AeroTough GF because it's always lubricated. And in this one we've got the normal AeroTough bushings in all the torque links, because these ones are not highly loaded like they are in the main landing gears. So this nose gear has been on this airplane over 100 cycles. We have inspected it and everything looks great. No problems.